Good morning, Squadron. Welcome to the On Time, On Target Morning Brief, where we invest with private precision on a daily basis. Great show for you today. We're going to cover some of what we covered yesterday because we lost all of that. So I want that recorded and out there and available. So we're going to talk Tesla. We're going to talk Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the $1 billion buy that they did, as well as possibly transacting in Bitcoin. We're also going to talk about the marijuana theme. If you haven't followed MJ, the marijuana ETF, has been on absolute fire recently. So finally that's catching wind. We said it was a buy below 20. It's up at 27 now. It's kind of crazy how fast it's moved. So with that, that's what we got for our show today. We are going to also talk about the wash sale rule. If you were in, excuse me, in and out of any of the, GameStop trades or any of the other trades that were going on, if you bought and sold multiple times a day, there's something you should probably know that's coming come tax time. It's called the wash sale rule. So we'll talk about that for our question of the day. With that, thanks for checking us out. If you're on replay, make sure you hit subscribe and notification to get real-time notifications when I upload this every single day after the live morning brief. If you want to join us live, it's only $25 a month. So a pretty good way to invest in yourself. You have a chat room and a Q&A window where you can ask me anything during this 30-minute period and I will answer your questions. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. Here's our flight briefing for this morning. Make sure you have your Q&A window and chat window set up appropriately. Standard disclaimer applies. So financial education presentations, you have to do your own due diligence before acting upon anything you hear in this presentation. Full disclaimer information is available at ototnow.com. All right, today, February 9th, kind of trucking right along. We do have Valentine's Day coming up. Don't forget that. Our mission objectives today, going to grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money, specifically talking about growing our money and the investment in Bitcoin. We've been talking about it for a while. We hopped in when it was at 31,000. It's at 47 or something, 47,000 this morning. I still think it's a buy below 50, but you better get in now because that's not going to last, right? It's going to go right through that. I think pretty quickly and on up to probably 100. If Apple does buy some Bitcoin, game over right now. It's at 100,000. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that is certainly a rumor that's out there. If it does happen, yeah, the thing will double. So regardless of what you think about it, it's legit. It's just a place you should have some money. So not even, a full Bitcoin, but to have some, we buy it through the trust, which is GBTC. And we'll look at that chart here in a little bit. So again, Elon Musk, if you rewind, a week or so, that's when he came out and said, it's inevitable. And of course, they're taking action on it to be able to not necessarily transact in it, but you can certainly buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. Now, they're going to pay taxes in dollars. They're going to probably convert it to dollars, that sort of thing, because, the U.S. runs off of dollars. But certainly if you want to, big league it up and go buy with Bitcoin and then make the news because you're the first person who did that, then you certainly can. All right, question of the day, what is the wash sale rule? Remember, if you buy and sell something within 30 days, if you buy something and sell it for a loss, you can write that off your taxes. If you buy something, sell it for loss, turn around, buy it back and sell it for a gain, those two don't necessarily subtract out. Now you can't claim the loss. So even though you're even, you owe taxes on $100. It's called phantom income. Anybody who's in their first year of trading, you end up with thousands of dollars in phantom income, meaning you are paying taxes on thousands of dollars that you did not actually make. So unless you go with professional mark to market, I forget what the actual term is, but you can be a professional day trader and you don't, then the wash sale rule does not apply to you. Very few people go through the wickets to do that, and especially Team Reddit, they probably don't even know of that. If anybody's participated and they're talking about professional trading designation, not just the pattern day trader, but a full designation where the wash rule doesn't apply, put that in the chat. I'd be impressed. All right, our flow for today, long, short, open, short, long. We're going to take a look at the markets around the world. We're slightly in the green. We're also coming off a 6-day win streak in the market, so it's not surprising that we're going to be a little bit in the red today. We have stimulus coming out, and of course the big vaccine rollout. So that's kind of what is taking things higher. Stimulus in talks, going to probably get something passed in the next week or so. And then taxes. Nobody's talking about raising taxes because we're going to have a victory over COVID day first, I think, before we start talking about raising taxes. We shall see. All right, our headline review, we'll take a look at what's in the news. If you didn't see it, coming out of the Super Bowl, pretty cool tweet from the New England Patriots about Tom Brady. You know, there's all kinds of things they could have said there, but they put probably the coolest 7-word tweet out. So if you didn't see it, they just said congratulations to the greatest of all time. So first class move on the Patriots to congratulate their former quarterback on the big win. All right, long-term investments, there's a 6 we'll be taking a look at. We'll get into short-term execution. I do have the names in the, let me refresh these for the folks that came in late here. Well, not that one. Do have, what's this, 3 longs and 2 shorts today that meet our criteria. There they are. Again, we'll take a look at those at the open. Contingencies and academic resources are standard. All right, let's take a look at ThinkPipe's platform, and we'll go, we'll talk about where we've been for the past 9 months. Here's our 6-day ladder going straight up, basically. So yeah, even if we would sell off for, remember, this was a 2% move in the market right here. Since then, we recovered that, and then all the way up another couple percent. So any market sell-off, even if it's ugly, is no big deal in relation to the big picture. People are starting to get nervous. People are, the news cycle is dominated by the bubbles and talk a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, so was it here too. So if you are in, let's see, when was this? This is late August. Yeah, if you bought that, if you said, yeah, you're right, it's a bubble, oh my gosh, I can't believe the valuation, then yeah, now you missed the move up to the next level higher. So anyhow, careful where you get your news from. I'm glad you're in the room this morning listening to what I would call a voice of reason. Is I sort through all that BS that's in the mainstream news and say, you know what, we have stimulus, we're beating COVID, and there's $4 trillion in cash on the sidelines that has to go somewhere. Guess where it's going? It's not going into bonds. It's not going to municipal bonds. They don't pay anything. It's literally going into Bitcoin and maybe some gold and silver. If you are like super far right paranoid, then that's your massive play. But everybody else that's what I would call a little more normal is going to buy good companies out there that are making, you know, good products and have good services. So that's why money piles into the market. All right. Yeah, but a little bit of a sell-off in today. We already talked about that as far as setting up our charts. This move in marijuana is, we'll just pull that up real quick. You know, here's where we were talking about. This is 5 days ago when I was like, hey, this is the buy up to 20. And now literally it touched 27 pre-market. So heck of a move. Can you get in here? If you don't have any exposure at all to marijuana going into a 2 to 4 year blue wave, then yes, you have to get some. If you have a bunch, you don't need more. So all right, so then we'll take a look. This is the Bitcoin move. Again, we'll pull the same chart here. So 5 days ago, it's down here at 34. Now it's up at 47. Just kind of a crazy move. But we'll come back to that for the day trading portion. All right, let's go over to CNBC.com, and I'll refresh these. and we will take a look at the markets around the world. So barely in the red today, taking a breather, no problemo. Taking a look at Europe, mixed, but pretty close to even there. Asian up a little bit, China up 2. Let's see what this is. Up 2%. Don't really see a real reason for that to be up as much. Here's our numbers from yesterday. Pretty decent move higher across the board. Apple was down, so if you have a big position Apple, you might actually be in the red from yesterday. Bonds are doing fine. Oil's doing fine. Gold and silver, again, people are starting to buy those up. And then over in crypto, 46,000. I think it was at 47,000 earlier. So pretty significant move higher. All right. Austin's got a new soccer team. Clearly, you can see that I've been to their website because that's why their jerseys are up there. Don't know when the season starts, though. They're hoping March or April for the MLS season. Normally, I don't care about soccer, but since we have our own soccer team and I intend to go to some of the games, then I think it's kind of cool for the first time ever. I would never have thought I would said soccer was cool before. But all right, we talked about the Brady comment. Look at that. Forerunners, I'm not buying Forerunners. I don't know why that adds up there. My kids would like that, though. Worst viewer ratings. That's kind of weird. You would have thought it was such an epic game. I wonder if that's because it was streamed so many times and some of the accounting of that is not necessarily spot on. So anyhow, I'm surprised that significantly. Maybe another thing they did this year is they released all the commercials up front so you could pre-watch them. I think that's stupid. I don't see the genius there. All right. Yeah, $15 an hour minimum wage. I think that actually may happen. Again, the good news there, worker makes more money. Bad news, a small business is a little bit more pressured now because you can be happy for your waitress that she's making more money, or he, waiter, whatever. But they also have twice as many tables to take care of, so they're kind of earning it. So making more money. We shall see. All right, Reddit I don't really see how Reddit has a tremendous amount of value. I don't know if there have to have some advertising on Reddit, but I'm not a user, so I don't really know like I am with the other social medias. Yep, the 1 year up to 3,600 per child, and then 3,000 if they're older than 6 or something like that. So I do think that's going up as well. Those are pretty easy for the Democrats to sell everybody on. Eli Lilly's CFO resigns. Inappropriate communication. We will take a look at that short today once we get to our short. I had not read that. Yeah, chasing Reddit fueled stocks is a fool's game. I don't know. It is what it is, right? If you want to hop in and get into some flash mob trading, stay nimble. That's yeah, you can ride it, catch a wave, ride it up, sell back out. I wouldn't hold anything. I wouldn't hold on for dear life like they're being told, everybody to. But all right, yeah, Bitcoin headed higher long term, but don't chase right now. Good luck getting a better entry. If another big firm goes out there and hires or makes a big purchase of Bitcoin, if big companies start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets, that's going to soak up a lot of Bitcoin and take it out of the float, right? So just realize that means higher prices. Okay, let's go over to take a look at Tesla real quick. So this is the chart in Tesla. Get rid of that guy. So again, Tesla's ran up basically. The split was back in here and then ran up to almost 900. It's been trading sideways from there. I would not buy into it here. The valuations are all insane. You have to believe that they're going to change the world to be able to buy into it here. Otherwise, I do think you would get a better entry point. When you look at Bitcoin, though, the difference is the fact that this is your GBTC is not coming up. So let's try block. This is it's the technology, so same but different, but the chart looks the same as GBTC. So again, you had the big jump yesterday. I don't know what it turned out being. I think 16, 17%, and probably just going higher. today. Again, if people are going to start buying billions dollars of it, then it's good. The price has to go higher, right? So that's what I wanted to show you there. All right, let's take a look at Schwab Street Smart Edge, which is up here right now. So you have Tesla. Here's the split that we talked about, and then run up. Here's your GBTC that wouldn't pull up on the other chart, but it's hitting near its all-time highs of around 50 or so. If you want to buy the technology behind it and not necessarily the coin, Riot Blockchain and Blockchain are your best two direct plays there. Those have best been on fire. And then you have Marathon Patent Company and MSTR, both of which are a little bit crazy. And MSTR is one of our MSTR and Block are both gapping up. So there are in our long list for the day to take a look at, as well as MJ. All right, let's go check out the shorts real quick. Only have two of them for you today. The take two is dropping again a little low on volume, but it's dropping from 213 down to 203 due to missed earnings. So take two interactive, and they've kind of run up, so you can see that in the chart. And then COTY. Take a look at that real quick, and then I'll answer your question there, Jaden. Plenty of volume in this one. So 794 down to 743. So it's down in here. So this is your best short. So we'll put that as our top short up there just from looking at the chart. And again, it's earnings related. So while we set up for our day trade, we'll move over here. I'll answer your question. So the question being posed out there for those that can't see the chat room on replay is, do you recommend putting money in stocks that mimic Bitcoin like Riot or MARA? You can. I'm more of a purist, so I would not personally do that, but I don't have a problem with it. They're just know what you're getting. So sometimes you can get a little bit of an edge if you like Riot over Block. If one of them's lagging one or the other, you can get an edge there. But you have to be pretty familiar with both. And I wouldn't stay in them long term. If you're going to get it long term, then I would stick with a more of the pure with the Greystone Bitcoin Trust or the actual Bitcoin itself. Good question, though. All right, we'll set up here. We got Block. We'll go MJ and then Cody for our short. All right, 30 seconds to the open. Get set up on 1 minute charts for all of these. Again, it's long, long, short is what we're looking at. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the On Time on Target, a play of the day. We have 4 screens in front of you. We have the SPY all the way to the left on a 1 minute chart. Obviously, we're in the red a little bit as far as the futures. 5 seconds to the open. We have a long in blockchain. We have a long in marijuana. And we have a short in Cody, which is what I want to focus on right now, is this short in Cody. So it's a little bit out of our 5 to 10% gap window. But what I would like to see, if it just continues to fall, we're going to have to say we missed it. But if it backs up here, I would like to see it get up to the 720, 730 range and then turn around and drop from there to be able to get into it. If you look and that's called a setup. So anyhow, you have the earnings number here. This is the conference call down at the bottom. It is backing up like I had hoped. So we're going to look for a 10-cent stop. So the high of the day, a lot of volume in this. So we want it to set the high of the day, and then we want to set our stop above that and enter it 10 cents below it, which would already be where we're at. No boy, I'm not so excited to hop in here on minute 1 because I'm not sure it's done going higher. So it's already looking like it's going to be a little tricky here. Okay, it indeed is not done going higher. So we want this to go higher so we get a better entry point. And we want to kind of, again, show up like that reverse waterfall, right? We want to go up here, and we want it for like a minute to stay in the same like penny or two range before it turns around and falls off. So again, not in this trade yet, but I do like the way it's setting up. If you look at the first minute, that's a short cover of 1.25 million shares. Okay, so look, you see any attempt at shorting this you'd have been blown out of it already because of a lack of patience. So again, hoping it chills out before it just stripes down so we can get an entry here. Not really ready to take it yet. If we take it in here, there's no way we can cover the high of the day, right? It's just too far gone. So still working that entry. MJ looking good long. Blockchain is not looking good. We'll switch over to the other one, which is MSTR. All right, I do like this move here. So let's get an entry at 720 with a 730 stop. So pretty tight stop. There we go. If you got it, more than likely entered around that 717 or so, but we're going to call it good. 730 is your stop. You can still take it here at the 717 range if you can get it. First one is 710 for our first R, and then 7. And then out of the trade at 690, which is what we're holding out for. Again, if you got it late, you can hold on to it for a few more pennies to make sure you get your 3R. Get the arrow in here. So again, looking at how you entered that, it's you wait and you have to be patient for it to kind of be done going up. But you have that red bar was the sign that gave me, it's like, okay, well, we got to enter here. We can't cover all the way up to the top of the day. It's just too much of far of a stop. So there we go. We are out of the trade. So what, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes into the day. And this is a beautiful short. So entered in here, even if you picked it up late, you've already got your 3R. It looks like it's going down to 4R. I wouldn't hold any of this. I'd be out. This is what's called an ugly entry. So I call it at 720. And by the time you actually get it in there, you may have been down in the 717. It's like, okay, if it's ugly going in, then you just take your 3R and then go out. Again, this is a 4R trade here where we are at the bottom. So there's probably gonna be some short covering. I could see it backing all the way up. So again, get out, nice trade. All right, let's look at what's going on in let's look at the other short first. This marijuana did nice. It's climbing up to around 27 or so. Nice steady climb. So if you were to take this, you'd probably have to wait for it to go all the way down, all the way back up to like 26.65 with a 30-cent stop or so. So again, it's not even really a 1R point there. So it'd have been a tough trade, and obviously both MSTR and blockchain were kind of a hot mess as far as entries. All right, let's take a look around in what I call the real world. Luckin up top of the list. So remember, it had the story of Luckin. You got the 45% sell-off based on the bankruptcy Chapter 15 news. News in parentheses, or excuse me, in air quotes, because it wasn't news. It was part of the SEC settlement that I guess nobody read. Okay, I didn't read it either, but I knew that it was part of it. It's not a Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is bankruptcy. Chapter 15 is debt restructure. So they have to restructure. They've got, I don't know, 100 million or so on the balance sheet. They're not going bankrupt. Did I buy more here? Well, if you have a lot of Luckin Coffee, no, I didn't buy any there because it was kind of a gasping moment on Friday when it dropped 45%, right? Literally, yeah, big numbers if you have a large position. But if you had smaller positions, yeah, then I added some to Luckin. Can you buy it in here? Yes, you can. Now, I don't know that the bad news is over, but yeah, I have no problem buying it in here. We can pull the chart since we've got an extra second or two. Speculative. So again, when something falls from 12.8 all the way down to 5, you have to hold your breath, right? I mean, this was like yikes, right? And then this was Friday. So yesterday it recovered. It was up, I think 16%, ended up like 8%, something like that. I would imagine you will see a slow march higher. So that's what we have seen in the past. You have kind of a big sell-off and you get the march higher, then you see the sell-off and then the march higher. So the long-term trend is up. I do think it can reach 20. I don't think the company is broken, but it can certainly be a little more exciting than you want. All right, marijuana up 5%, CBD is up, marijuana, all the other marijuana names are going to be up as well. Revive Therapeutics, Shroom, something or other. GBTC is your Greystone, that's your Bitcoin. 10-cent holdings, K-Webs, other Chinese names, Revive Therapeutics. I'm not pushing RVVTF, but it is interesting, the thesis. So if you want to throw a couple dollars at RVVTF, it could go, I mean, it could go down significantly. So don't get crazy with it. But the overall thesis there is using psychedelic drugs to kind of battle depression and suicide tendencies and bipolar under lab type treatments, not like home use, right? Like, here, go do a bunch of drugs and you'll be fine. But when you're entering into a program to try to reset your brain, there's something to it. There could be something to it. And if there is something to it, it obviously explodes higher if that becomes like a thing. So don't know that it will be, but certainly there's a lot of upside there. All right, let's take a look at the downside. REAXF, new name. So in the book, not super familiar, low price point, good storyline out there. So until I know more about it, you have to consider that highly speculative. Nikola, Clickstream, Delta down, Sony down. Sony sold off hard since the Christmas numbers, making me question whether I need to hold on to it. I'm still questioning that. I haven't made the call yet. Laser's also selling off a little bit. Workhorse moved up a ton. Now it's selling off a little bit. Not too worried about it. Okay. Let's go back, look at our trades real quick. So yeah, entered here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bounce up to the 3 land. I wouldn't go back in. This is kind of a setup where you could reshort it and then take it back down, but I wouldn't recommend it. You made your money in it, so let's move on. All right, let's close with the wash sale rule definition. So pull that up here. So what am I talking about? You know the wash sale rule. Well, if you don't, it occurs when an investor sells or trades a security at a loss and within 30 days before or after buys another one that is substantially similar. So let's break that down for a second. So let's talk about the same one. So you today bought Cody early, right? Well, here, let's use this chart. And we'll use Cody. So you're hearing me, you're right here in the market open. And the market starts higher and it starts in here, and you hear me say, wait on it. It's too early. And you go, nope, I'm in, bro. And you hop in here at 7:15 and you set your stop up here at 7:25 and you get smacked out. So you're down your R, whatever that was, however many shares you got, whatever, you're down. We had a 10-cent stop. So you're down your R and you go, well, crap, I'm back out. Steve isn't even in the trade. I'm already back out with a loss, right? So you goes up here. We get into minute 3. I start squawking about, hey, we're going to take this. Boom, 7:20. Say maybe you got the entry here at 7:17. If you're, that was about as fast as I think you could hit this. So you go into the trade at 7:17 and you make 3R. Okay. So say your R is $100. So you risk 100 and you made 300 today. So in your mind and in your P&L and your account, you are up $200, right? You lost 100, you made 300. Easy peasy, right? That's the easiest math in the book. Any 8th grader can do it. 8th grader shouldn't be trading, but if you were, you could still do the math in your 8th grade. You made $200. Come tax time, say that this was the only trade you took the whole year. Come tax time, you owe taxes on $300. And you're like, what? That's BS. And it's like, well, it's not BS. I just told you that. It's a wash sale rule. You don't get to count the 100 you lost. Now, where traders kill themselves is the I want to get back to even. And I've told you this over and 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 over. You have to have a trading math program where you lose a little or make a lot. Because if you lose a little and you just get back to even, or you bail out of trades early where all I'm trying to do is get back to even, this is what happens today. If you had lost 100 in Cody, and then as soon as you make the 100 back, you're like, woo, all I want to do is get back to even. You hit end, you're out. You missed the huge move down because you didn't trust the system. And you went, I'm back to even. No, you're not. Come tax time, you made no money trading. You owe $100 on your taxes. That's called phantom income. You are owed taxes on money you did not make. Crazy, right? That's the wash sale rules. So when you're a trader, which again, I don't do more than one a day, and I never take the same trade twice. I can't say never, shut up. But On a rare occasion, well, I'll hop back into the same trade, but I have to make sure I'm not doing it for ego, right? I'm doing it for the math. The math has to support it, not just because I didn't want to lose. Like, I took the punch to the face. Well, whatever, you move on. But the if you get in and do that, then you can run into trouble. Now, let's look at this, and I see a question popping up. I'll get to that in just a second. Substantially similar. Well, your brokerage determines what's substantially similar or not. So take Home Depot and Lowe's. If you trade Home Depot's, take a loss, and you trade Lowe's and take a gain within 30 days either side. Remember, that's really a 60-day window. So here's the one trade. It can't be 30 days before or 30 days after.